Brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the North American side of the ESL Pro League. My name is Blue, and joining me tonight is a new face to the Pro League North American casting team. It's Bach. Welcome, Bach. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's pretty exciting. You know, I'm used to casting a lot of Premier teams, a lot of main matches. I haven't really had an opportunity to cast a Pro team in a while, so it'd be a nice change of pace, especially given that the first map's going to be Inferno. We might actually see teams play Inferno. We were talking about it pregame. A lot of teams in North America don't actually play Inferno. They just kind of like, oh, we're out of time, let's go B. Oh, we're out of time, let's go mid. Like, yeah, so it'd be nice to see a team like Luminosity, who statistically speaking is probably the best team in Pro League right now, especially when you look at all of their accolades. And they're a really good team on Inferno. And then they have Gabi on the opposite side. So one of the better in-game leaders playing in North America right now. I won't say North American in-game leader because he isn't one. He's a transplant, so we can't count it. We can't steal that one away, but it should make for an interesting match.
Yep, and of course, the guys on NRG actually are going to be in all four of the matches that we have this evening. The usual doubleheader, of course, for their first match will be against Luminosity, starting off here on Inferno, and then jumping over to the second map, which is going to be on Mirage. And then later on tonight, they'll be taking on Complexity, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and those maps will be played over on Cash and Dust 2. Once again, keep in mind, of course, these are all separate best of ones, not best of twos or combined sets. So, Inferno and these two teams, once again, let's talk a little bit about NRG, because some people may not have had a really good chance to see them as of yet, especially if you're mainly used to watching European CS. Gabi, of course, coming over, the big brain behind this team, but also putting in a couple North American fraggers. Most notably, I think out of all of them, if you're not 100% familiar with NAC, this would probably be PTR or Peter, who's previously been on the CLG roster. Then he went on to what was the old Luminosity roster and is now Winter Fox, hopped around on a couple Premier teams for a little bit, and is now jumping onto this team. And actually, since joining NRG, has been doing really, really well. And then you also have the likes of Justin, Ely, and Silent coming on from other rosters as well.
Yeah, you know, what's kind of interesting is a lot of people look at PTR as one of the best players fragging wise on the team from the North American side. You know, Justin was actually like the top fragger, so to speak. Him and Silent really shared that responsibility when they played as Method. Justin was a really promising player. I saw a lot in him. I thought potentially he could get picked up by another team because reality was that Method was not going anywhere. The way that they ended up doing this deal, bringing in Gabi, has really breathed life into this team. I talked to Silent around the end of last season, and they've said it. They were kind of just in a position where they were waiting to die. They knew eventually, like, someone would get an offer, a player gets pulled away, the team's going to be dead, and it would just dissolve. It's nice to see that that didn't happen. They kept a lot of the core players together, and then they brought in the big brain of Gabi, like you said, and also PTR to back things up. Does create kind of an interesting setup because they do have Silent and PTR, both known for their op presence. So you kind of wonder what's going to happen on a map like Inferno, where heavy op on the T side is actually not that common. I'm kind of curious to see how Gabi is going to use these players.
And of course, as we talk a little bit about how the seasons have been going so far, Luminosity still looking good right now at 5-1, currently tied for second place, technically third place, as you got Optic and Selfless both with 6 wins right now, but they're tied up with Renegades for that second place slot at the moment. The guys from NRG are down at 2-2. However, their most notable achievement so far was just about a week or two ago. They were able to trade blows against Team Liquid, actually taking a map on Dust 2 against them and almost taking Cobblestone. They had a huge lead coming off of their T-Hab. I think it was like 11-4, 12-3. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be on their CT center. They kind of dropped the ball there, so Liquid had a huge comeback and claimed a second map. But NRG are not necessarily a team that is bouncing towards the bottom of the league as of yet. These guys actually have already shown that they can joust with some of the bigger names in NA, and again, also trading blows with Selfless too, which is the team that's currently tied for leading the league. So taking a win off of them on Mirage and then losing another map on Inferno 16-7. So that loss does bring in the question as to how well they may be able to perform today against Luminosity, but Luminosity themselves, of course, coming off of their recent IEM second place, are still looking as strong as ever, of course. So it's going to be a pretty big one here tonight. This is, I think, is probably the biggest challenge that NRG will have faced yet, at least in the North American circuit.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the match they have coming up after this, Complexity, just looking at it on paper, not exactly as much of a challenge for NRG. I'm not saying that it's going to be a blowout in NRG's favor, but I mean, look, it's Luminosity. This team did just place second at IEM. They were so close, a few rounds, and they actually could have won it. I mean, it was what, 16-14 in 2 maps with Fnatic coming up from like a 12-3 at half. It's frustrating for LG, but at the same point in time, NA has been there before. So even though these guys aren't North American players, like how many times have we had a team go to a tournament and it comes down to like round 30 and we lose? Like that's like a consistent problem. And I remember not the last major, but the one prior, I think it was CLG, and they were saying, like they're consistently like right there. They're so close to making it out of groups and they just can't get there. Or Cloud9, the famous Cloud9 NIP series where it went to Kabul, and it was Freiburg in the back of sight. He was sitting on the barrels behind the little spiral staircase in the back of the A site, and he basically like secured the game for NIP. It should have been game over. And I believe that actually pushed it to overtime, and it continued. I can't remember. My brain's a little foggy. I watched way too much Counter-Strike over the years. But like that's the consistent story. So part of you feels for LG, but it's kind of like, well, you came to North America to play, and unfortunately the curse just kind of comes along with it.
Yeah. So as we talk a little bit about LG, of course, from that performance recently, and by the way, guys, we do, according to what I can see, it looks like we've got everybody in the server that we need. So just waiting on the teams to already up, and then we should be able to get started. All 11 players, including the coach from LG, are in the server now. But the big performance, I think, coming out of IM was Taco's big improvement. He had an absolutely stellar set throughout the course of the IM stages there. So big improvement from him. We didn't really see it carrying over into last night's games, unfortunately, but last night was a bit of a misnomer overall for the LG guys. So I'm tempted to kind of ignore when that ended up happening there and still carry over their IM performance to sort of talk about how they may likely take on the guys on NRG in tonight's match.
Yeah, I remember when Taco first came over to the team, a lot of people were looking at him after the first couple matches, and they were like, this guy he's not good. What's going on here? Like, statistically speaking, it made more sense to keep bolts. And they didn't really give him a chance to form. And then after IM, everyone was like, this Taco kid's insane. I never said that Taco was bad. I was the one that was like praising him and saying he was amazing. He basically just had an opportunity to really showcase his stuff at a big LAN, and he showed up big time. Multiple games, multiple rounds were won based on him, and obviously FNX as well.
All right, guys, well, we are going live now in the knife round at the moment. So let's take a look at who's going to get their CT side start. And as these guys just go at it here, it looks like it will be Luminosity that wins the knife round. So they're going to start off on the CT side, switching over really quickly there. And now they're going to get to start here, whereas NRG, they're going to have to work from the bottom of the map on the T side and see if they can pick up some early rounds here to give them a bit of a boost. As a T side, at least in this set, I expect the T side, of course, as you would normally expect, to be the problem point. However, in North America, sometimes that role gets flipped. I don't think that'll be the case in this set, however.
Yeah, one of the things you have to worry about with a team like NRG is that they're so young. They haven't been playing together for that long, and then you're playing against a team in Luminosity who has switched some players around, but for the most part has had a pretty solid core. And not only that, all these players already knew each other when they switched. So that could play a factor as the game progresses here, but some good aggression down Banana, and wow, that round was faster than I thought humanly possible. LG just swept NRG underneath the rug and said, may I please have another?
And that's going to be an amazing start for Luminosity here. Now NRG, obviously, a little bit sideswiped of what just happened now. They're just, unfortunately, they're not even really going to be able to justify buying up on a force buy now because they got absolutely wrecked in that first round. Just going to go for P250s this time. And of course, hope to do a little bit of damage, but with the way Luminosity started off, that might be a little hard to accomplish.
Look at what Luminosity is doing here. The aggression down mid. You see teams do this every once in a while. I think that pistol round definitely helped them feel a little bit confident moving into this one. They know it's going to be an eco, so they drop the bomb and alt. That's very early going down. That's going to be Legia who had it. He was trying to make his way up alt towards the Haycart. And now the rest of the team has kind of turtled up on it. They know that Gabi has got the bomb behind this wall. And Gabi is going to peek out and take down Cold Zero with the P250. Another kill coming in for LG, though. That is Taco gunning him down. Another one for Taco, looking to pad the stats with potentially a third. Silent still over towards the apartment stairs. Back in mid, Justin locking it down, but he's locking it down all by himself. He has the P250, and now he's got an M4. He might be able to spot the head of Taco as he comes through the pit, but it is going to be another round for LG. Really only losing bodies because they went hyper-aggressive that round. They probably could have played passive, but I think they just want to get this one over with quickly. Like, get into the mind of NRG. Like, we're gonna 16-2 you.
So now Luminosity off to the good start there, and unfortunately NRG, without having the armor buy-ups behind those pistol buys, not going to be able to contest those duels very well at all. Had a couple chances to maybe steal away 1 or 2 more kills, but not going to happen. They do find a couple of them though, so it's not necessarily the worst situation in the world, but with how Luminosity started off, of course, they will still be able to sort of eat that up. And now, NRG basically with the same investment this time, just upgrading to the P250s. Peter's going to stick on the Glock, and we do see Justin going for a Deagle buy. Hope we can get lucky with a couple Juan Deeks here or there. But for the most part, still not going to be expecting anything phenomenal coming out from the T side as of yet, as they are definitely saving up for their first gun round.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't gotten a bomb plan yet, so they really don't have any extra cash to go with, so it's just going to be pistols for the most part. And it's just a slaughter fest here for LG. They're just mopping up the kills left and right. And they only take 3 points of damage. That was on Cold's era. No one else on the team actually even gets hit by a single bullet. So Luminosity has basically moved into the first buy round for NRG completely unscathed, only losing 2 players throughout the entirety of the first 3 rounds. So, and that was Gabi and Justin who picked them up, kind of just picking off players passively because Luminosity went psycho and just pushed down mid. It was kind of a suicide strategy, but it worked out nicely. And it prevented another bomb plant. I mean, they did it on Banana. They got aggressive on Banana and mid in the pistol round, prevented the bomb plant, and then they did it again in that other round. And again, right here, just playing a hyper-aggressive CT side. Luminosity plays so well when they play confident, and you can see it panning out here. Justin's going to get 1, but the immediate trade-out compliments of a grenade is going to take things back to a 3-on-3.
The timing on that, unfortunately, for Justin was suboptimal at best. As soon as he pushed out there was a nade thrown in, so he does find 1 kill, but very quickly is traded out. Now, what you're going to find most notable about the buy this time from NRG is that Peter has gone for the op pickup. He's got armor behind it, too. Most of the time on the T side for North American teams, you don't really see them wanting to take a risk on the op this early on in the game, especially with this unstable of an economy still here, and with them not having any rounds picked up as of yet. So Peters wanted to take that risk. They find himself in a duel with Fawn a little bit later on, but with NRG already losing 2 of their players, it may be a bit hard to find the direct duel. These guys now have to play together to get control of one of the sites. But Luminosity, it's the same story for them. They've also lost 2 of their players, and it's going to make their defenses quite weak, depending on where NRG try to push this towards, which is looking like the A site now.
Yeah, but that could change on a moment's notice. Everyone knows how this map tends to play. Teams will go towards mid. They won't like what they see. A good crossfire setup could scare them away. FNX went for a one-way smoke towards the top of Banana, and that unfortunately could cost him, as that was the last of his utility. But it does look like the boys from NRG want to make their way towards the A site as they smoke off towards Library. Still kind of a little bit nervous about making their way up mid. They know what these LG players are capable of. With Cold Zera and Pit, they're going to try and smoke him off as well. Flash is likely to follow. And there you go. Molly is on the back of Legia, and he's going to throw it towards Pit, but not before Gabi goes down, the tactician of the team. And a great shot from Fallen in the site with the off. He's going to sneak behind it. Ooh! Did he just get the leg shot on PTR? Yep. I think Peter got leg there. So it is going to do a lot of damage, but not enough to take him down. NRG's going to get the first bomb plant here, and it's all up to FNX.
Peter missing that shot just a little bit to the left, and that gives FNX the room he needs to find the frag in the 1v1, recovering the op of his dead opponent. That'll go back into the hands of Fallen in the next round. The Luminosity, of course, still with plenty of time to defuse that bomb. Comes down to very, very close, a 1v1, but LG still managed to take it, of course, and with all of that saving that LG managed to pull off in the anti-eco rounds, because NRG just basically got 0 damage onto the guys on Luminosity. They're going to have no trouble rebuying into this round at all, but NRG also have that money now coming off the losing bonus in the bomb plant, so they'll be able to go for another buy themselves.
Yeah, so you get that extra $800 for losing a round and getting the bomb down, even if you don't pick it up. Combined with the fact that they got, what, $2,900 there, more than enough to buy there, $3,700, and they are going to use that cash to go into an AK buy. And again, aggression down Banana works out so nicely for Luminosity. They smoke off from CT spawn. The smoke lands as the T-side players cross. They can't do anything about it. FNX peeking from mid is going to find 2, and it's another lightning fast round. I mean, we're in a minute and 25. Only a small amount of damage has even been dealt to Luminosity, and NRG is left on just 1 player. Luminosity is playing lightning round after lightning round. They are not giving NRG any room to breathe.
And I think Fallen gets that last shot as well while partially blinded, so Legia gonna get taken down. Not a whole lot he could have accomplished, of course, with him being the last man left alive, and the entire attempt at a push through middle and elsewhere just gets completely decimated. So LG take good control, and of course, now that they have Energy's own economy under control, we're not really going to see too much being invested this round. A couple random pistol upgrades with armor sitting behind it here or there, but for the most part, these guys can only afford the P250s, so Luminosity have another very easy round on their hand, and with another one that's as clean as that one was, Luminosity are back on track, just building up a strong CT side here, and so far, Energy have really been struggling. I mean, we've only seen really one close round so far. It was the one gun round, but beyond that, on these anti-ecos, they've been making very minimal progress, and on the immediate gun round that followed their first one, they got absolutely destroyed, so they're having a hard time even getting themselves onto the site, let alone getting the bomb down, and there you have it again. The entire push is just destroyed at the mid-choke point.
You know, I was really ready to say that this might actually be a decent T side. Like, before the game started, I was like, I think Energy might put a few rounds up. I think they'll surprise us. Nope. Not surprised. Actually, if anything, I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Luminosity, like we had said, is one of the best teams on Inferno right now in the world. It's not just a North America thing. They're one of the best teams in the world. And right now, Energy is just getting outclassed, outplayed, outfragged, everything. Anything that they could possibly try to do to beat LG is not working. LG just continues to play at a much higher level than Energy right now.
So now Energy pushing themselves up to get control of alt middle here, and looking to get into the apartments too. It's Legia making the charge on this one, connecting a little bit of damage onto some of the CTs, but ultimately leaves himself overexposed on the T steps. So FNX is going to punish that and taking him down. Furt looking for another pickup here. He's almost found Gabi. He's got him at a 4 HP, but being a little bit cautious, pays off, still finds the frag, and now is able to fall back to the A bomb site where the damage has already been done. Peter's moving in, trying to connect some shots with the op. I believe he does end up hitting someone. Maybe he missed it. It was a little hard to see from his angle, but regardless, no kills are found. Justin did find a pickup on a Fallen, and the T's are going to go for a push on the B. Now, because of all the pressure that was set over towards the A bomb site, LG basically gave up their hold here, and it is going to be open for the taking, but the bomb is the last one in the train coming in for the T's, so the guys on Luminosity will actually have plenty of time to rotate, fall 4 of their players over here to attempt the retake.
Oh, look at this boost here coming in from FNX and Coldzera. Oh, he's going to spot one towards the back, and there you go, is FNX taking him down. Silent not going to have much of effect here on this hold. PTR. Oh no, Peter. Jumping right through the smoke with an off, and little does he know he's walking right into the belly of the beast. And it is going to be now 7 straight rounds for Luminosity. Only the second bomb plant this entire game for Energy. The one time came down to a 2v1 where Peter gets the first kill and then gets on the site, but couldn't hold for the post plant because he was so low due to the shot to the leg he took from Fallen. But, I mean, that in and of itself is just kind of an indication of how this half has gone. They've only gotten the bomb down twice in 7 rounds, and they have 9 kills as a team. You would expect one player to have 9 kills. To have 9 kills as a team is brutal.
To be noted as well that 5 of them are coming off of Justin. Nobody except for him has managed to get more than 1 frag. So Justin's actually been pulling off some pretty nice plays himself. However, with players like Legia getting knocked out directly at the beginning of the round, that's not going to help your case. Furt moving out, gets the push and finds a trade kill on a Peter after he took down Fallen, and he's sticking around. There's no punishment on him at all. He takes down Gabi. Might be able to find Silent here. He does. I don't know what the hell Silent's looking at, but now he's a dead man. He gets taken out of the play, and it's just down to Justin again, and he's stuck at the crossroads.
How many rounds have we seen now where it hasn't even made it to a minute? They haven't even let it get past a minute. We haven't even seen the 0 in front of that colon, and Energy is on like maybe 1 player at best. I mean, sometimes they have no players left. That it never even reaches that point. 8-0. There is no light at the end of the tunnel right now. I mean, I was saying 16-2 early. I'm starting to think this could be a 16-0. I mean, it's very possible we could see a 15-0 half here with the way that Luminosity is playing. Energy is not really doing anything to surprise us. The only thing that's surprising is how fast they continue to die round after round as Fallen is going to pick off 2 through the window. He is just having a field day.
Look, he's going to move out through the mid-choke point now, finds a third onto Legia, and now there's Colt waiting in the long halls, catches Peter as he attempts to get some control of the apartment. Gabi looking for the peak, finally Fallen missing a shot. Gabi actually does sneak through with a kill on a taco, but Fallen in there to close it out, gets the casual 4K, and Luminosity now lead 9 points to zip.
I imagine right now that LG is really having a good time. Knowing how energetic that team is, you know that they're just like laughing and having a blast and everyone's, you know, smiling. There's no tears today. Nothing like what probably was going on after the end of IEM. I mean, this team is just having a great time playing the game they love. And can you really blame them? They are absolutely putting on a clinic. Energy is getting a first-hand beating right now from Luminosity, and I just don't really see it ending anytime soon. They have kind of backed off a little bit, kind of like, all right, maybe we shouldn't play so aggressive. Let's give them a chance. Like, come on, guys, let's let them get a little bit. But even still, when they've backed off, NRG really hasn't had anything to crack into the sites. The entries have not been there. And it's come down to picks like that, which usually would go the way of Fallen. But it is going to be Peter who picks it up this time. So a potential window of opportunity here for NRG. But as soon as the window is open, it's shut immediately by coldzera. And it takes us back to a 4-on-4.
The good news is, though, that because of the more passive playstyle that NRG has gone for here, sort of because of the fact that they're kind of scared shitless, but maybe a little bit more because they maybe want to try to change up the strat a little bit. It works out, and they do find a trade, so bringing it down to a 4 versus 4. It's not going to be the worst situation in the world here for NRG. Now the take has to go without any flaws whatsoever, and it looks like they're going to shift it towards a B hit, but this could change pretty quickly. And if they do end up trading out here again, Luminosity has been on point with a retake so far. We've already seen a couple attempts to take control of the site, and the few times there has been a bomb plant, it's been a pretty flawless retake at the hands of the CTs. So they're going to move into the A site actually with the bomb right now, and you've got Fur and Cold. They're holding a cross angle. It's already a disaster. Cold's picked up a first kill on a Peter. Gabi has been able to retrieve the bomb, and Justin is moving into the B bomb site, but now they've lost the bomb control. Fur just taken down Gabi. There's going to be a surprise coming outside of the ramp there as Silent takes down Fur, but now he's just going to walk around the corner, and Cold's still waiting with that op, the same position where he found a kill just about 20 seconds ago. No compensation onto that, and Cold finishes it off with a pop onto Justin. And Luminosity continue to remain flawless here, 10-0, and that was also another 4K, by the way, at the hands of Cold.
And see, that's the reality. Even when NRG gets themselves in a position where they might have an opportunity, when they put themselves at like even strength 3-on-3 and they think they could make their way to a site because the CT side's going to be on like a 2-1 split defense, it doesn't matter. The individual talent of all the players on Luminosity just shines through. I mean, it's like 2, 3, 4. How many times have we seen a 4K this game? I feel like that's like the 3rd or 4th time that a player has done that. It's not unheard of. It just continues to happen, and the problems just continue to pile up for NRG. And if I'm doing anything right now on NRG, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, let's just think about map 2. This is not going well for us. Let's think about the next matchup as they find themselves in a 4v3 yet again here with a minute and 25 seconds left. They're already 2 players down. They did get the 1 trade onto Fur. They're going to try and flash their way into the smoke on the bottom of Banana, and it does work out nicely. The Tech 9 at that range, so deadly. FNX with the nade, oh, it should do a lot of damage. But unfortunately, the recoil kind of getting away from him a little bit there as Gabi does pick up the frag. And it's going to come down to a 2v2. The question is whether or not NRG can even get the bomb down here.
Thankfully, the rotation around through construction from Taco is taken pretty slowly, so we will see a plant. NRG will get a little bit of a money boost from that. And Justin picked up a kill on a Fallen. They haven't seen exactly where Taco's at. For most of this, I think they were assuming he would be back towards CT, so he's going to hop in. They should have been able to hear that, however, and Taco keeping the movement strong. The members of NRG have gotten out of his way. They're going to let M come to him. And now Taco trying to push forward. We see the shots coming in from Gabi, but it's not going to connect. And Taco is able to take down Justin. But Gabi trying to wrap around, just trying to prevent the defuse by all means at this point. But Taco's waiting for him. His head goes down. Gabi's not creeping out. He might be able to ninja this completely, but Gabi's going to peek out at just enough time. And we'll be able to take down Taco to put the first round onto the board for the players in NRG.
You know, part of me thinks like Taco did that on purpose. You know, when they see the scoreline that they're at, they're probably like, you know, we're having fun. Let's just see if I can win this situation by doing this. Everyone knows that sometimes players get it like they almost get giddy and they try to do things they shouldn't do when they get to leads like this. So like they try to go for knife or they try to go with a mag 7 and like just get inside players' faces. So part of me wonders if that was what he was doing there. Like he had to know that Gabi was not going to just give him the plant. He knew that he had to be at least a little bit close, and he sticks the bomb and just starts spinning around in circles because he's just trying to dodge bullets, hoping that if I pick this round up, that's like the ultimate way to just like stick the nail into NRG here. So it's the first round for NRG, but it kind of cost them a lot. They came down to just 1 player, and they're going to lose all of that loss bonus. They had lost 10 rounds in a row before they finally picked up the first one. And even though that doesn't give them any extra bonus, 5 rounds straight would give them $3,400. So they're going to use that to get at least some semblance of a buy here. Not the greatest, not the worst. But again, an early pick for LG just causes so many problems for NRG. They try to get up Banana and try to get some information, and then they just immediately have to fall back.
Fallen's going to get flashed, and he's a little bit cautious of them starting to push through Banana, so he does fall back and gives them a little bit of room to work with here. But it's still a very slow and very drudging push for NRG to try to work through now, as they're struggling just to get themselves to the site itself, not even getting on it and getting the bomb onto the floor. They've actually held back quite a bit. 45 seconds on the clock, so still a decent amount of time for NRG to work with. But it looks like they may be shifting their prospects over towards the A site to at least investigate or make some noise over here before they go for a possible execution. Moving in now, not finding anything, at least on the initial push through the mid choke point, but there's definitely a presence from Luminosity, and they are going to try to do a boost again to get over this smoke. No one's spotted the boost as of yet, but they're also not seeing one of the T's is pushing in through it, picks up one, and the second Legia successfully sneaking in, and this combined with Peter picking up another kill in a cold. It's absolutely stunned the defenses. Taco still alive, though, on the Rap side, but he's going to be pressured, and he's still out in the open. Got to be very cautious, picking up one kill, traded out by Silent, but he has given Fallen a chance to clutch a 1v2, and he's moving in quickly onto the site. Only 5 seconds left. He's going to move in to try to stop the plant from happening. Not going to be able to succeed in doing that, and he's left himself out in the open, but he's found a kill and a Silent, and now looking for the final blow into Peter, sneaking up, trying to connect the shot there in order to defuse the bomb, but again, we can't see Peter connecting it on the diffuser itself. He's still hanging back inside of it, and Fallen is going to jump up. He's looking for the shot, can't find him. Sees him falling back down to the long haul, and just going to flash him out completely here to hold him inside. Sticking on the bomb this time. Nope, not as of yet. And Peter just playing with him at this point, rolling out, trying to lock on that location. It's a tense battle between these two, but as Fallen jumps up, he doesn't see him. It's hiding in the corner. Peter is going to outmaneuver Fallen, close out the round, and NRG will pick up a second round.
I thought for sure that Taco was actually going to stop that by himself. The way that they were playing, they were so late on that execution. Came to about 25 seconds before they got that kill in mid. The bomb gets planted into the site with about 15. They lose the bomb as well. So I think it was on Justin. Justin actually went into the site behind the spammable box. He took the duel with Taco. Taco kills him, drops the bomb. There's about 9 seconds left when they finally regained it. If Fallen was in any closer position, that would have been a round for Luminosity. All he would have had to do was just prevent that bomb from being picked up. And that's just classic Inferno. It comes down to the wire for the T side. A lot of times, they don't have an opportunity to clear the site when the bomb is being planted because they're just so out of time. And part of that is that NRG is playing so timid because of how well Luminosity has played on their CT side and how aggressive they've played. And it's actually kind of beautiful that Luminosity has pushed them into this position that they don't even have to play aggressive anymore. They can just sit back and play passive and let NRG think that they're still playing that aggressive game. I mean, Fallen is pushed up down Banana, and he does get a kill with it, but it's not like they double push Banana like they've been doing for a majority of the half. And you can see Fallen is just waiting for PTR right now. Peter peeks, Fallen whiffs. Ooh. As Peter goes for the jiggle peek, and a great shot, a response for NRG here. And if they went fast with this, they could actually find their way onto the B site. But trades going in each direction. The 0-man in mid, that's Legia. He's only going to get one before he gets traded out by Fur. But the B site in control of the T side for the time being. Cold Zera trying to rotate in and prevent the plant.
And now, after a little bit of a struggle getting themselves onto the site, the guys of NRG get the bomb down towards B. Oh, excuse me. Luminosity still with 3 players left alive. They're going to go for the retake. Peter denies the initial push as it works its way in. But then Silent actually just cutting these guys down. Fur walks in alone with no support from Taka. I think he was hoping somebody from Spools would peek, but that's not the case at all. And now Taco trying to jump up to pull up a 1v2. Actually, he's getting quite a bit of damage on his Silent through second oranges, but as he peeks through the Spools, walks right into the gazing eye of Peter. He's going to shut him down. And NRG starting to get a little bit of a streak going as they try to bounce back some semblance of a comeback here as we get to the last rounds of the half.
If they can make this 10-5, that's actually not that bad. Compared to how this probably could have ended, a 10-5 is respectable given the opposition. Everyone would probably look at this and say, oh, wow, NRG is like, tier 3 NACS at its best. Well, they're playing against a really good team, one of the best teams in the world on this map. So one would expect LG to get as many rounds as they're picking up. So the fact that they could potentially find a 5th round somehow with the way this started, that's a win for NRG. Now it just comes down to that pistol round switching over to the CT side, and all of a sudden they can chain those anti-egos together and they'll only be down 2 rounds. And another good start here is they molly Fur out of the cubby, but he's going to respond with a nade right into their bread baskets. They do have a Mag 7 in play that's going to be on cold, and he's playing solo B with the Mag 7. So if they were to attack in this direction, it would be very difficult for this man to hold. I think he did drop it one way initially, hoping that there would be a push, but it just didn't go that way. And they still haven't really decided, so I mean, they could go B or A at this point.
So NRG still with a lot of time left on the clock here to work with, and of course with no kills being found, it does make it a little bit more of a complicated decision. But they're starting to push their players over towards Banana now to make a push over towards the B bomb site. Cold though is going to be ready for this push. He's got a Mag 7 sitting up close and personal if these guys should push in. But of course, as you can see now on the minimap, NRG, they've fallen away from Banana. And they're looking to get themselves onto the A bombs, and instead it's still the default setup from Luminosity, no shifting away from the 3 players on A, but Fur is going to get aggressive. There's a great timing with this, a flash will throw him from the CTs, but he only finds a 1-for-1 blow. However, it's enough to get the intel now, and he sees the players coming. FNX is going to be able to light up Peter, but it's not enough to kill him as he hits him through the wall, so it brings him down to 17 HP. And now NRG, this is a problem they were facing earlier on in the half, though, is they're taking this hit so slowly, and there's only 10 seconds left. Taco up on top of the box there on the port side, picks up a kill on the Legia. Silent kills him through the box. And with Peter finding another kill on FNX, they now get themselves onto the site, have just enough time to get that bomb onto the floor, and now have to try to hold this off 2v2.
I was so close. I can't believe they had enough time to actually get that bomb down. Silent and Pit is giving Fallen a little bit of trouble coming up truck side. Cold still smoked off, so he can't spot the man behind truck. He's got his trusty AWP, the big green cannon. And oh, there you go. It's going to be Silent dropping in Pit. A great shot from Cold. Now it's just the man in back sight, and it's as if he knew he was there. The sixth sense from Cold showing its way through the round. And Luminosity are going to pick up their 11th, so no 10-5 today. NRG going to be stopped at 3, potentially. If it comes to the final round, it's going to be pretty tight here. NRG has lost a lot of bodies despite the fact that they picked up 3 rounds. Came down to 1 player in 2 of them and 2 players in 1. So they've lost so much. It's a force for the ages here. Just trying to get that 11-4 and then hoping that the pistol round goes their way. Otherwise, it's probably lights out. LG will more than likely take it.
Luminosity working with a little bit of an awkward buy, of course, with the 2 ops, but then 2 FAMASs as well, so a little uneven, but still enough to work with a hold, of course, considering how much they've been just absolutely dominating NRG for the majority of this half. Now the guys on NRG, though, lining up most of their players, or at least the 3, for a push over here towards banana. They're still keeping 2 back to make some noise over here through the mid choke point, but the problem is they're ready for it and they're lined up. So Fur's gonna get 2 kills easily. Fallen as well, holding things forward, picks up 1, but unfortunately gets caught up and there's no momentum there. Silent's gonna be able to take him down. So FNX picking up another kill and he's trying to close it out with the final frag on a Peter. Switches over to the 5-7 and does it himself, taking down PTR. And of course he's gonna make this a 12-3 half in the favor of Luminosity. A little bit of a hiccup there near the end, but still, with the way that things started off, of course, they had no reason to worry about it. And with a lead like that, even though they are jumping onto the T side now, they should still have no reason to worry about dropping this map as of yet.
Yeah, how many rounds did Luminosity not lose a single player? It was like 5 or 6?
I believe so, yeah. There was quite a, especially within the first like third or within the first like 2/3 of that half, if I'm being completely honest. It was just a shutdown. We weren't really seeing NRG do anything at all. They were even struggling to get plants. I think if you within the first like 8 or 9 rounds, they only planted 2 or 3 times at most. It was after that where they finally started to make some momentum, but it just happened so late that it didn't even end up really mattering. Of course, they picked up 3 rounds, but that's it. And you're still looking at a 12-3 scoreline, unfortunately.
I mean, just think about the amount of money you save as a CT side not dropping a single player that many times in a row. Even if you're not using an AWP, even if it's just rifles. The amount of economic, the implications that come around with having that many rounds in a row. It's just ridiculous to think that a team could actually last that long without dropping a single body. They are going to make their way up towards the A site right now. It's just Gob B in the site, and unfortunately, not really going to be able to do a whole lot. He was getting flanked from Arch side as well as from Truck. There's going to be a duel in CT right now. Taco taking his time there with Justin, playing with his food a little bit. PTR the only one left standing for NRG. And Luminosity pick up the pistol round that basically seals the deal for them. NRG is going to come into a force buy more than likely. They know exactly what kind of situation they're at. You can see Gabi's already gone for the 5-7 armor with a smoke. I imagine the rest of the team is likely to follow. Luminosity knows this. This is textbook discipline from Luminosity. They're not going to put any SMGs on the board because they know it's probably going to be a pistol armor buy from NRG. So they're buying these AKs and Galils because they know it would be so much easier for them to just slaughter these pistols than it would be if they had the SMGs.
Peter, though, gets aggressive on Banana, finds a nice first pickup on FNX. Not going to be able to scavenge the gun, and he does lose quite a pretty bit of HP. But now is going to go for a very fast rotate over towards the A-bomb site, leaving only Justin to hold this, which is a bit odd when you consider just that one kill so early on is probably not going to discourage Luminosity from pushing towards the B site. In fact, the fact that he traded out some damage, and he should know it, might encourage them to go for it, considering they're still only with these forced up pistols. So NRG might have blown their load a little bit too early here on the rotation, but they are moving Peter back now, so still working with the standard setup. I think Silent's going to be joining them in a minute here too.
FNX dropping early, giving NRG a potential hope here. They haven't been able to find the gun that dropped from his corpse. There's one still sitting towards the top of Banana. That's going to be Fur. He's got the AK towards Haycard, jumping up to spot someone towards Spindles as the A execution seems to begin here. But it's just a bit of a teaser right now. They haven't actually made their way up. They go for the initial peek. Cold Zera punishes them with the AK. And now you can see the CT sides thinking, this might be a B play. There was one player still there. I think Fur may have thrown some kind of flash or smoke. I didn't see it happen because you can see the 2-man Silent already rotated out of position from Library. Now he's going to be thunderfooting it into that position to Cold Zera. it's just going to be easy for him. The only one left in the A side is Legia, and his head does pop up from the pit behind Truck. And there you go. It's basically the round here, unless Justin can pull off some fancy footwork and impressive shooting. Two players are very heavily lit. Fallen at 7 and Fur on 13. Justin tries to find the AK, just doesn't have the long enough arms. And Luminosity win the anti-eco of sorts. It was a forced buy for NRG, but they're now just 2 rounds away from closing this out.
And now NRG, of course, not really going to be able to bring too much to the table, but they've got no choice. They've got to force up again just to try and make this a bit more competitive and prevent Luminosity from getting up to 15 rounds. So basically going to be the same battle over again. They'll bring a little bit more in terms of utility this time, and Peter is going to try to risk it with a scout, but ultimately results are probably not going to be too good. Peter does get quite a bit of damage early on a taco, brings him down to 30 HP, but Luminosity, they're just going right at it this time. They're going for a full-on push-up banana, some team damage connecting onto Fur, but that shouldn't matter too much as long as he can take down Justin, but he doesn't finish him off. Justin's able to fall back, and he's now spotted this push, so he should be able to call for the rotation. But again, the guys on NRG are not fully convinced as of yet. They're going to get ready to move in through Arches and Library, but just in case Luminosity did double back and head towards the A-bomb site, they're not going to fully commit themselves. Now they need to, though, because the hell spawn of grenades just fired into that B site.
And there you go. Justin in the back of sight with the 5-7, peeks from dark spot. And unfortunately, he only gets 1 kill for his troubles. The rest of the CT side trying to go for the retake right now. They've got everything they could muster in this round. 5-7, P250, a scout, and a defuse kit as well. So that's going to be the important one. Able to play a little bit slower on the retake, not having to force any fights. There is going to be one taking a duel with the man towards CT. Legia, he had the P250, but FNX peeking from first orange, making it quite difficult. A nice pop flash here from Legia, but good support by Fur, just waiting for the cross from CT. And now it's just the man CT spawn, PTR, who had the scout in his hand, and there's no way he's making it away with this one. 32 HP, he does have a kit. There's one in the sight, and Fallen just popping shots left and right. He makes it look easy as Fallen and Luminosity just walk into a 15th round. It's very likely to end here. NRG comes into yet another force buy, just trying to do anything they can do to stop the bleeding. But it's almost as if someone's cut them in half. There's no stopping that bleeding.
And also, the big thing to keep in mind here, too, is even if they can put a Band-Aid on it now by winning this round, that's all it's going to be. And it's still very easy to rip that right back off and for Luminosity to win it, as now you're going to be looking 12 rounds perfectly in a row for NRG. If they just want to take it into overtime, that's not even to win the map, keep in mind. So, with this being considered, more than likely Luminosity should be looking at an easy round victory. However, there is some presence inside of the bedroom there, but it is stopped pretty quickly, and of course 2 more additional kills are traded out. So NRG are down to just Peter and Justin now. Both have to rotate in from alternate sites. Peter's pretty quickly moved down banana off of B, so might be able to surprise them with his rotationary speed, but with Justin going down and now he being the only player, a 1v4 would be an absolute miracle here, and more than likely it's just not going to be possible. Luminosity should be able to claim this victory and take it 16-3, and there you have it. Fur just shuts down Peter. That's going to be a dominating first map here to end the first best of 1.
Yeah, and then keep in mind, they have to play this team again. So if you're NRG, you're like, wow, that really sucked. We just got basically thrown around by Luminosity. And it's not like you can go like, all right, well, we'll come back tomorrow, we'll rethink, we'll watch the demo, we'll figure out what we did wrong. You don't have that luxury. You have to play them right now. And you have to play them on another CT-sided map on Mirage, one that requires a lot of coordination and synergy for your T-side to put rounds on the board. This is scary. NRG could very easily lose 2 maps with less than 5 rounds on each of their sides. So I am, if I'm on NRG, I'm just really not happy. This is not my night. And then you have to think about the fact that then after this, they have to play complexity. Like, this could snowball out of control. If they lose these maps to LG, it doesn't matter if they can reset. There's still going to be an effect from these games that could roll over into those games later.
Well, the guys on NRG may end up having a few minutes to sort themselves out before we go into that second map. I don't actually know if we're going to try to play the second map as soon as possible or if we'll wait until it's slated time, which is scheduled for 9 p.m. Eastern. So, with that said, we are going to go to a short break, however, depending on when we do want to start the second map, guys. We will be back with it, so be sure to stick around. We'll be returning in just a little bit here with map number 2 between these two teams. We're heading over to Mirage here at the ESL Pro League.